Today, we're going to dig into a simple village fable that, believe it or not, has some seriously profound lessons about economics, human nature, and risk. We're going to unpack the story of a farmer who cooked up a plan for the ultimate payday and watched it go horribly, disastrously wrong. You know how these stories always start, right? There's a perfect opportunity, a plan that seems absolutely foolproof. But hiding somewhere inside that perfect plan, there's always one fatal flaw. A single miscalculation that's just waiting to bring the whole thing crashing down. And that is exactly what we're looking at here.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in a small village. The fields are full, the harvest has been great, and the market is just buzzing with potential. It's the kind of place where the conditions are just right for both incredible success and, well, some terrible temptation.
So, let's meet our guy, a farmer named Natu. He's just had an amazing potato harvest. I mean, best in years. And he's not the only one. His neighbor, right next door, has had the exact same luck. So right now, everything is looking good. Everything's balanced. Both men are set up for a really profitable season.
But here's where it gets interesting. Take a look at the market conditions. Yeah, the local supply is high because everyone's harvest was so good. But the demand? The demand is through the roof. See, there's a problem with the supply from other villages. It's completely stopped. So you've got this perfect storm, a local shortage at the exact same time as a local abundance. I mean, for a farmer, this is a once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity.
And it's that golden opportunity that makes everything take a very dark turn. This is the exact moment where that healthy ambition starts to curdle into something else, into a greedy, destructive plan that starts to form in Nati's mind.
So how does a person justify what he's about to do? Well, Natu shares his idea with his wife, and she just reframes the whole thing with this one simple sentence. All of a sudden, stealing isn't stealing anymore, it's just a savvy business move. And honestly, that little bit of rationalization is all the permission he needs to go for it.
And his plan? Wow. It's cold, it's calculated, and it is brutally simple. Step 1, take out the competition by stealing everything his neighbor has. Step 2, control the entire supply by hoarding it all together. Step 3, sit back and let the panic of a manufactured shortage do the work for him. And Step 4, cash in when people are so desperate they'll pay anything.
So, with the plan set, Natu moves into phase 2. And this part of the story, it's all about tension. He makes his big move, and then he just has to wait. He has to wait for the market to bend to his will.
He doesn't waste any time. That very night, under the cover of darkness, he puts the plan into motion. He sneaks over and steals his neighbor's entire harvest, every last potato, and hauls it back to his own house, hiding the massive pile in a spare room. Just like that, in a single night, he believes he has cornered the town's entire potato market.
The next morning, he even puts on a show, acting like a concerned neighbor, shaking his head with the guy he just robbed. And you know what? His plan starts to work. Perfectly. As the weeks tick by, the shortage that he created starts to cause real panic. The market gets desperate for the one thing he's got hidden away. And the effect on the price, it's just dramatic. It skyrockets. After only 1 week, it jumps to 45 rupees a kilo. By the third week, it's at a staggering 70. And for Natu, who's just watching all this unfold, every single rupee it climbs is just proof that his ruthless strategy was the right one. He is absolutely certain his big payoff is just around the corner.
But here's the thing. While Natu is hoarding and waiting and counting his future profits, his neighbor, the actual victim here, does something completely different. He doesn't just sit around in despair. He gets back to work. He starts planting the next crop. And this is such a critical detail, right? One guy is totally focused on exploiting a single moment in time, while the other is already investing in the future.
And that brings us to the climax. This is the moment Natu has been waiting for. It's the moment his perfect plan finally smacks right into an imperfect reality that he completely, totally overlooked. 70 rupees. 70 rupees a kilo. That's the magic number. The second Natu hears that buyers are willing to pay pretty much anything to get their hands on some potatoes, he knows the time has come. It's time to unlock that treasure room and finally claim his reward.
So he walks over to the door. He unlocks it, swings it open, expecting to see a mountain of treasure. But instead, he's just hit by this awful, foul smell. Every single potato, his own harvest, and the one he stole, has rotted. It's all just a soggy, worthless mess.
His entire hoard, the very foundation of his master plan, is gone.
So let's just do the final math here, because it is brutal. Natto is left with nothing. 0 potatoes, 0 money. Just total, complete financial ruin. And meanwhile, his neighbor, the one who focused on cultivating instead of hoarding, he has a fresh new harvest ready to go, and he's heading to a market that's desperate to buy. One of them secured a sustainable future, and the other one destroyed his own.
So what do we actually take away from this whole mess? The story itself is pretty simple, but the lessons, they're incredibly powerful, especially when you really stop and think about the true price of Nattu's greed.
The main takeaways are just so clear. Nattu's obsession with short-term greed completely blinded him to the long-term reality. He chose the massive risk of hoarding over the simple opportunity of cultivation. It's also a pretty stark reminder that just because you call theft business, that doesn't change what it is. But ultimately, he learned the most painful lesson of all. You can't manipulate nature's timeline for your own profit. And that was the fatal flaw in his plan all along.
And really, that just leaves us with this one final thought to chew on. Nattu started out with the same ambition as his neighbor, to have a successful harvest. But somewhere along the way, he crossed a line. And this story kind of forces us to ask ourselves, in our own lives, in our work, in our ambitions, how do we recognize that line before it's too late?